I like his little butt. He's got a little cheeky butt.
My friend always used to say I was really good at drawing butts. So.
Well, I think you can die happy now. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the pinnacle. Hey, welcome to Arts and Cast. The aim of the show is to get a sneak peek into other artists' screens and into their process. Each artist that comes on the show has 45 minutes to create a piece of art from scratch. Today on the show we have Tanya Scott, who is an illustrator and art director. We talk about some of the shows that she's worked on, and she shows us how actions in Photoshop can drastically speed up your workflow. So let's check it out. Lovely stuff. I can see it.
Sweet.
Smooth. Oh, look at that color palette. Look at the swatches. I like it. Hopefully we get something colourful. Good.
Collecting colours.
I'm going to find a little theme generator to start with, to kick things off.
All right.
Randomize a theme. Oh, how do you feel about spiders?
No, is how I feel about spiders.
Is that a veto? Should we skip that one? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just no. It's spider season, so we're coming up to a point where I'm just going to have to face it no matter what.
Too real. It's too real. I get it. Yeah. Okay. This one has come up with dark. So this one's a little bit more obscure.
That's right up my street, though. I like painting things in the dark.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sounds good.
What's some of the initial thoughts come into your head from that dark?
Well, I like to do things in the forest, so probably something like that.
Okay.
For some reason I have an obsession with lanterns, so I am thinking of something holding a lantern.
A darkened wood with some...
Yeah. Maybe a little monster thing or a little animal.
Yeah. That'd be great. The clock has started. 45 minutes.
Done.
The pressure's on. No, it's not.
Little bit. People watching you draw. It's like when you go to museums and you have a sketchbook and everyone's like, watch.
Or just when you used to be in college and your art teacher would just really nonchalantly look over your shoulder for 10 minutes while you're sketching something, thinking he's the invisible man.
Yeah, we had a really creepy life drawing tutor who used to always talk about the model's bum every time we were in this live drawing session, but he'd always do that. Just like hover there. Yeah. Not good.
Nice. What's the hardware you're rocking over there? You got a Wacom tablet, bamboo.
I have a Huion display tablet, not a Cintiq.
Okay.
Because I saved up for a very long time for a Cintiq.
Yeah.
And when I got it, it wasn't compatible with my version of Photoshop.
Oh, God.
And then when I kept on asking Wacom for help, they basically ended up ignoring me. So I just sent it back. I don't know if it was the hardware or the software, I don't know, but it wasn't resolved. So I got this for half the price. And it's been fine. I mean, it's not as snazzy as a Cintiq, but that's the job.
Yeah. I have always been curious about those. I've been, always grabbing stuff from the kind of bamboo Wacom family, upgrading, but I always see those other brands, and I always wonder if they're...
Yeah, I think the custom service is really good. I don't know if there are better ones available now, because I've had this one for about 2 years now. And it is I think if somebody really uses it and relies on the shortcuts and things a lot, then it's probably no good. But because I don't really like using the buttons on the side, it's...
You just use the keyboard.
Yeah. I like my actions as well, so you'll probably see actions.
Okay, cool. I'm not too hot on actions, so it'd be interesting to see what you use them for.
I think it's just coming from series. You got to do a lot of work really quick.
Yeah.
So you just kind of just think, well, what's the quickest way to do it? And it's generally to put an action.
And is it because there's usually a lot of kind of repetitive stuff as well? Maybe like a process. Yeah.
That's it. as long as you can sort of get it sort of working to the pipeline. And like a lot of the things I've got are like colouring lines black and things like that, or like alpha locking.
Okay.
So my default, because we've got unlimited time, put all my little animal characters in like this jacket and a little backpack on.
That's cool. Do you think that's kind of influenced from anything?
I don't know, actually. I think I like I'm working on my own film at the moment. It's taken an age to finish, but the character is wearing a similar outfit, and I think it's because I really am a really big fan of like Peppa Pig. I like Matt Baker's films, you know, like Mark Baker, sorry, all the old ones, you know, like Up on Farm Hill and all those kind of things. And I really like 2D flat animation that's like kind of squashed and stretched around. So I think when I design things, I like things to look kind of quite flat and quite graphic. Even though I put a lot of like texture and lighting into it. Yeah. I'm not the kind of person who's going to do like a big like, you know, matte painting or something.
Yeah, I've noticed that about your stuff, but it stands out in other ways. You know, you've got a real talent when it comes to color, making your images really vibrant. The characters really stand out.
That's really nice to hear, because I remember when I was a student, that was the thing I was always most frightened of was color. That's why I've got the swatches, because that's kind of how I learned how to use color. Yeah. I just like find all the images that I liked, and then sort of basically distill the swatches from it, and then try and work out how best to use it that way.
That's a cool way of doing it.
Yeah, I think it's like a lot of people, like, I really enjoyed uni, but I think like they could have taught us a little bit more. Yeah, a lot of like the third year and stuff was me trying to work out what I wanted to do and how I wanted things to look. Yeah. Because I didn't do a foundation either. So I was kind of just trying to catch up with sort of what everyone else was doing, I guess. Or like, there were some really good people in my year, like really talented people. Yeah. So it always felt like you had to kind of compete with everyone else in a healthy way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, at the same time, you know, that's kind of part of the journey as well, though, right? Is you can be taught a lot of these things, but do you not find that they stay with you a lot longer if you kind of learn them yourself, or you sort of figure out that path for yourself?
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the biggest things, or the best things that I managed to pick up for myself is sort of knowing to recognise when I felt like doing something and when I didn't, and not forcing myself to try and put stuff in my portfolio. Right. But also, I think sort of trusting your gut. Like, I think for a long time I always felt like there was something else I should be doing. My art should look a certain way, my portfolio should be something else. Yeah. And then after a while you kind of just think, well, life's kind of too short, because first of all, I think I've got this in grayscale. But it's just, you know, if you're going to be making work on your own time, you should enjoy it. You can't be making stuff for everybody all the time. I mean, you can't impress everybody, and you can't make something that everyone's going to like. So, yeah. But I think with social media, it's so easy to like think you should be doing something else. Yeah. And I feel like that even like now sometimes. But.
So what's your kind of relationship with social media? How do you see it as a source of inspiration for that kind of thing, or do you think it actually has a bit of a detrimental effect on your motivation sometimes?
Yeah, I think a bit of both. Like, I found like I had like a sort of social media detox and not so much Twitter, which I have used way too much. But definitely like Instagram and Facebook. Like I'm not on Facebook anymore, but Instagram I had to sort of get rid of my personal account and then completely redo, like separate off my professional work from my personal stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure that was no longer combined, because I found that was having a really big impact on my health.
Yeah.
But also sort of making sure that I followed the right people. I think that's really important. Because it's just, I don't know, I feel like if you follow people whose work is too similar to your own, it has the opposite effect. Like it does kind of make you feel bad about your work.
Really?
Even if they're not, not that anyone's doing it on purpose, but it does always feel like, I don't know, they're doing something better or something, I don't know. So I do follow a lot of people who do things that are very different to me.
Yeah.
Or accounts that I can sort of get inspiration from, but not, it's not necessarily like an illustration account. Like I follow a lot of history accounts and things like that. Japanese art and medieval art and things like that.
Yeah. That's an interesting spin on it, sort of getting inspiration from, slightly different areas that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, I think that way it's kind of, it's a tool. It doesn't feel like something you're depending on all the time. It's just something that when you open up, you find it kind of useful more than anything. Because I think for a long time it did make me quite unhappy being on social media. Not just for art purposes, just generally. Like, I'm not a big fan of it.
So I feel like I'm seeing now a trope of someone that's worked in TV or just worked with creating so much artwork, because you have this technique where you essentially draw the outline, right? And so there's no point where the lines don't touch, and then you come in there with a kind of a magic wand selector and then fill that area in, right? Yeah.
So I've got an action for expand and fill.
Aha!
And then it fills it for me nicely.
It's a good technique. So you don't get that nasty little line.
Yeah. It's like kind of one of the most boring bits as well, isn't it, colouring?
Yeah.
Like ever since I was little, I just was like, I don't want to do colouring in.
Yeah.
I think I saw a quote recently where it was like, if you want something done quickly, find a lazy person to do it. And I was like, oh, that's me in Photoshop. It's about finding like the quickest way to do everything.
Out of necessity. You have to.
Yeah.
My goodness, these guys are cute.
Too much Animal Crossing.
Is that what you're playing at the moment?
Oh my god, like it's shameful, like when you see how many hours you've been sitting in front of it.
I just think that with the Switch in general, I just love Nintendo.
Yeah, this is actually, I bought it just before lockdown, and I was really lucky because I found the Animal Crossing Switch.
Nice.
It's like sold out everywhere, so I was like, buy it now. And I've never had a Nintendo before, but I don't know why I've never had one before, because it is like right up my street.
Oh, okay. So this is like your first big experience with a console, or just a Nintendo console?
Just Nintendo.
Yeah.
I have a PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
I do like cute games. Like I'm very excited about Pikmin. Yeah. And I've been playing Breath of the Wild as well.
Oh god, what a game!
I'm on that Yiga Clan hideout bit, and I'm annoyed now, so I've not played it for about a week. Because I just can't get through that bit.
Oh no.
I know.
That's okay. Few games on Animal Crossing, or should I say a few weeks, and then
a few continuous hours of your life on Animal Crossing. Just remodeled the island for the 1000th time or whatever it is.
Okay, so talk me through what's happening here. So you've kind of shrunk down the coloured layer, put it in the corner.
Yeah, I rough out the colour. I do like a really rough colour key, and then I just base colour on that for now. And then if I want to change it later, I'll do it. But it's just, so I kind of know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I sort of taught myself, and because I am quite lazy, when people do all this thing like flipping the canvas, or they've read all the colour and light books and they know what they're doing, I am not that person.
Right.
I am very much like, I guess, more on the illustration side of animation than the sort of concept artist.
Yeah.
Who's going to be working on the next Netflix series or whatever.
I'm very impressed with what you've achieved in just 18 minutes.
Oh, is that what it's been?
Mm-hmm.
I do work quite fast.
You do.
Yeah. That's why I've got RSI, probably.
Well, I think you're going to be talking to a lot of artists with that comment. I think I've got every piece of additional drawing accessory you can have, which is supposed to help with all these little niggles. I've got, shoulder straps for my back. I've got, wrist supports. I've got like a little stool underneath my desk to help me sit back properly. Yeah.
And do they work?
None of it works. No, none of it works. We're doomed, you know?
Yeah.
That's what they should teach you in university.
We were laughing once. I was at a Christmas party and we were all standing around complaining about all these injuries we'd suffered from animation.
Yeah.
And then one of our colleagues was just like, my brother-in-law is a builder and he doesn't complain as much about injuries. We were just sitting at our desks getting hurt.
Yep.
From drawing.
Yep. We're allowed to have a little moan every now and then. It's okay.
Yeah. I think it is. I think the thing is, it's because we're sitting down for so long, we get quite into our work, it's quite easy to sort of forget to get up and walk around or look after your back or whatever.
Yeah.
I have really bad sitting habits.
Me too.
So we're all at it.
We're all at it.
I'm thinking about getting a standing desk though.
Yeah.
Although I don't know how I'm going to draw on a standing desk.
Yeah, they're quite expensive as well. It's quite an investment.
This is it now. We'll see how bad I am with your own hands. Something else, like you have to sort of imagine it.
I feel like I'm getting some kind of Pikmin vibes from this little guy down there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's cute though.
Just got some giant fruit behind them. It's weird because you just, after a while you do it, it's like reflex, right? You don't even think about it.
Yeah.
But, then you realise that everybody's doing it differently.
Mm-hmm.
There's a better way of doing something.
So how much of your day would you say is sort of spent actually illustrating at the moment?
On Dave Spud?
Yeah.
Or just generally? So on Dave Spud, I'm assistant art director.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, it's quite good. There's quite a lot of creative work to do. Like, I've worked some jobs and there's been, like, absolutely nothing creative to actually do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of just... Because I did a lot of rigging.
Okay.
So it was literally, like, no creative work whatsoever.
In After Effects?
Selection.
Oh, okay. Selection, yeah.
So it was actually quite difficult for me to get a job doing actual art direction or anything like that. Like, I guess London's quite competitive, but I had to kind of, try and encourage people to hire me for more creative jobs because I just wasn't getting them. They kept on hiring me for rigging.
Huh. That surprises me. I think you've got such a distinctive style with your illustrations.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing because I think for a long time, especially in selection, like there aren't actually that many people who can rig, and I think like because of that, it's kind of like once you know how to rig, that's kind of like how you're typecast almost.
Yeah.
Like, everyone just thinks, oh, well, we need a rig and you can do that. So, you know, there have been opportunities in the past to do more creative stuff, but there's sometimes I've been, it's really scary. I am not into this. You just have to take the job that you think is going to offer them more work later on, kind of things like that. But yeah, it's been a bit of an uphill struggle to get that kind of work. But again, I mean, maybe that's also because my work is more illustrative than animation-y.
So I think some people are maybe sort of a bit obsessed with brushes and Photoshop. Some people are more, about shortcuts. It seems like you love your actions, these kind of predefined paths. What would you say? So you've got a bunch of them. What's kind of your favorite or most used, or is that little sort of diamond in the rough that you've got that helps you out?
It probably is the expand and fill action.
Because you're just colouring in so much.
Yeah.
That is quite sneaky. I may have to steal that one.
Yeah, no, it's a good one to have. Yeah, it's just, if you're painting a solid colour, then why actually paint it? Sitting there, just use the brush for however long.
And so then you set up that action on a shortcut as well with the keys?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, of course.
Yeah.
Very good.
So I've got that one, and one for colouring things black as well, which is more one I use for work more than anything.
So we're about 27 minutes in, coming up to the 2/3 mark. You're doing well.
Yeah, I think I might be all right. Might not be as polished as I'd like, but it's quite nice to be doing drawing. Yeah, I always give credit to the technician at university, Ian, because he was the one who showed me actions for my final film.
Yeah.
And it was so good. Ever since then, I've not stopped using them.
Nice.
I do like a good brush in Photoshop as well. So I do have my Carl T. Webster brushes.
Which one's that?
Carl T. Webster.
Okay.
So I think he's now doing the actual brushes, the official brushes for Photoshop. These are his
yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, you sort of get a lot built in, from scratch now, don't you, for Photoshop?
Yeah, they're really nice, easy to use brushes.
Yeah, I use some for when I'm storyboarding a lot. There's some kind of nice charcoal-y and pencil-y ones. Yeah, great textures. I like his little butt. He's got a little cheeky butt.
Something from when I was doing my A-level art.
Yeah.
My friend always used to say I was really good at drawing butts. So.
That's a skill. People need that skill.
Well, for Dave Spud, I have drawn a whale's bumhole, and I have also drawn this season a goldfish bumhole, which I think I'm allowed to say. Doesn't seem to be breach of NDA. So,
well, I think you can die happy now. I mean,
yeah,
that's the pinnacle.
That's it. That's what kids' TV is all about, really. How can you communicate a fart or an arse?
Yeah. Oh, look at this little brush. Nice.
The chunky charcoal.
Chunky charcoal.
The rush to do the shading before
I hope that you're going to put some shading on that little Pikmin's butt.
Save the best to last. That's gonna be the climax of this video. How will the butt look?
But the butt, how will it look?
Quite weird arms, this rabbit, but that's fine.
Yeah, of course. I think when you were kind of mentioning earlier about how maybe you don't have a style which is like most animators, where they're sort of flipping the canvas and looking for reference and doing things so Disney, if you like. But I think when you do have that style, it is quite restricting, whereas you have something that's, I guess, a little bit more abstract, would you say? And it means you can have like, you're not bounded by these rules of kind of anatomy and I guess three-dimensional shapes sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like, I think when I was at university, even though I was like really influenced by people like Mark Baker, but like illustrators like Mick Hunt, like that. I kind of always thought that, you know, you had to do that kind of stuff, like very like conceptual kind of like art stuff. But you know, especially things like Adventure Time, and even things now like Tuca and Bertie and stuff, it's really nice to see animation going in that sort of other direction where everything's kind of like, there are no rules.
Yeah.
You can just, things can be crazy. Because like my animation tutors are very like purist, like, you know, this is action analysis and everything in the universe moves like this kind of thing. And
right.
It took me a long time, even when it comes to animation, like to realise that I could do whatever I wanted. Like there weren't rules. I didn't have to obey the rules.
Do you think that it's really just a case of giving you those foundations, but then you know, the onus is on you to break the rules, aren't they? Essentially.
Yeah, definitely.
It's nice to have that as a starting point.
I think a lot of it was just probably things I thought I should be doing rather than I was being told to do it. Just my limited understanding.
So with each layer here, you're kind of adding a shadow layer and then clipping it to that colored layer. And using, I guess, a multiply, or you're not using a multiply, you're kind of using just a darker shade.
It just depends. I do use multiply quite a lot, but sometimes I don't.
We probably lost a little bit of time during that technical hitch, so I'll say 5.
Okay. Very generous of you.
You're welcome. And because I want to see this thing finished, I love it. It's great.
Thank you. Yeah, I might not get it all done, but I'll try and do the butt before I go. Right, we'll do this before time's up.
The main event.
Maybe the pressure's too high. The suspense. I feel like the pressure radiating across the internet.
I think that's just the 34-degree heat of the evening. Don't worry about it. Oh, yeah, he's cheeky.
He's been doing his spots.
Yeah.
He's been doing his spots.
Like you wouldn't want to be friends with that. Come on.
We've added a development to this story. Really. That's what the rabbit was looking for. I read like a book.
Okay, you got a minute left.
You're missing all the me turning my head and examining this bum purchase. I've got it just right.
I know.
It's so important.
Maybe I'll just superimpose in editing a kind of picture of you, and then I'll twist it, animating for that bit.
Yeah, it's a shame it won't get finished. I have to do it at my own time.
That would be amazing if you could. I think it's worthy. I think it's a lovely little picture. Okay, that's time.
Okay.
Very nice. Wow. I think you've done a great job. I think this is going to be something a lot of people can really get some stuff from, some hints and tips and hints and actions on the way forward, I think. And I think you interpreted that theme of dark very, very nicely.
Oh, thank you.
Nice little story happening here.
Yeah.
Well, it's a shame your video crashed out halfway through. But I didn't know if now was a good time, if there's anything that you are kind of plugging at the moment. I know you mentioned that you're kind of working on a short film. Did you want to talk about that at all?
Well, it's not really. It's unfortunate. It's just sort of been on hold for so long. But I've been trying to keep people up to date with some of the artwork that's going into it. But we're on the animation stage now, so been on hold while just been working basically. But,
so what's the plan with that once you've finished it? Is it going to kind of tour the animation festival circuit?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's a lot of, for me, because for ages I wanted to make a film, but it's this really difficult thing where you think about like audio and all this kind of stuff that's going to be so expensive. So it was about challenging myself to make a film without any dialogue, and more like a sort of almost a moving portfolio where I could just really enjoy the animation. So I'm hoping it will go around festivals, but it's you can never tell really. But aside from that, we're doing I'm doing something similar to this actually in the coming weeks. We've set up a new sort of networking platform, I guess, called Visible and Visuals, which is about encouraging diversity in animation and VFX.
Oh, wow.
We're going to be interviewing a lot of people from, different backgrounds who maybe don't usually get given like any time to sort of showcase what they do in their work.
Yeah.
With the sort of long-term aim to try and encourage like different kinds of people to enter into the industry.
Great, that's awesome. Well, it's such a pertinent issue at the moment as well, so great timing.
Yeah, definitely. But we've got Squiggly as a platform to sort of boost it when it goes online, but hopefully by the end of the month there should be one online available. Great,
awesome. Well, yeah, best of luck with that, and with your short film as well. I'll be watching closely. Hopefully I'll get to get a sneak peek of it when it's out. Looking forward to it, and and keep making some cool stuff like this because I think it's real great.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Been good.
No problem. All right. Well, cheers. I'll speak to you soon. Okay.
Yeah.
Ciao.